I'm join club now. Let's share this. Sure. All right, so I'll just wait for people to join in. Once you're around, we'll just join in. All right, so this is going to be our first meeting as a club, official meeting as a club, as the Premium Mentoring Club, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's the first day of May 2021, and I'm just looking forward to members joining the meeting right now so we can get it going. And in today's meeting, we're going to be talking basically about scaling up as a business, and increasing your price confidently. And we'll be talking about things that help you increase your price, or things you shouldn't do, or these things that a lot of businesses are in the habit of doing that stops them from scaling up effectively as design businesses. So this is pretty much a closed meeting, at least for now, to just premium people that are members of the premium club. So if you're joining us right now, just send a message and let me know who's in the house with us right now. Because I know we have one person in right now. So who do we have with us? Who's the first person in? All right, so you have Steven. Steven, you're welcome. Good to have you. So you're number one in the house. That's good. Because you're the one handling the refreshment. So it's good that you're with us right now. It's good to have you in. So we'll just wait for other people to join before we actually go live. We have somebody else who has joined us apart from Steven. Just tell us, whoever it is that has joined right now, we have 3 people. So once you just come in, just let us know who it is, and so that I can just know the people that we have with us right now. So I know we have Steven. Who's the second person? And please let me know if the audio is good enough too. If you can hear me clearly, let me know, and we will get started. Steven is saying the drinks are here. Okay, that's good. I trust you now. How about the small chops? Small chops has to be here too. All right, so we're just waiting for other people to kind of join. And once it is, all right, that's good. Audio is great, nice. I wait for other people to join. And once they join, we'll be able to get started. I think we'll start exactly at 4 o'clock. We'll start exactly at 4 o'clock. So right now the time is 3:54. 3:54. So we have about 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes to get started. And as I was saying earlier, that today we are going to really focus on scaling. And I know it's something we've been talking about on the group for a long time, but I'm just going to emphasize this one more because of the people that will be joining us, that just joined us over the past few weeks on the mentoring club. And we're going to go in depth into scaling, and we're going to talk about scaling your price. You understand? Because a lot of people come and say they don't know how to take up their price, and I'll be telling you some things that people that we do that stops us from taking up our price, and what we could do to help us take up our price confidently and charge confidently for our services. So we're going to be looking in depth at scaling. I'll be telling you 7 things that we are in the habit of doing as designers that stop us from scaling up as we ought to. We have a third person with us right now. On who's that? Who just joined us? Please, if you just joined us, just let us just signify. Let us know your name so we know who is in the house with us, and Steven can serve you a drink. So we have 5 more minutes before we start, and we'll just wait for 5 more minutes before starting out. Hey, Vivo, how far? How are you doing? It's good to hear from you. It's been quite a while. Hope you are doing good. It's good to have you here. Join us today. How's the family? How is Lagos? How is who are those your clients again? Forgotten their name. This guy is in Abuja here. How are they doing? Hope they are treating you well. Bright is with us now. Bright, you're welcome. Bright Daniel, good to have you. So we have Steven, Wiwo, and Bright on with us right now. So it's good to have you guys. As I said, we'll start by 4 on the dot. So we have 4 more minutes to start, or 3 more minutes. It's 3:57 right now before we get started. Bright, how are you doing? Hope business is good and hope you are doing well. So we'll just wait for other people to join us before we get started. But it's good to have you guys here though. And as I was telling Steven just now, that we're going to be talking about scaling up, which is something we've been touching on for some months now, but I really want us to talk about it officially. That's good. We will said we are good, boss. I've just been busy. That's good. It's good to be busy as long as they are paying you. You understand? Busy without payment is what can be frustrating. But it's good to know that you're busy. We have one more person that has joined us. If you just joined us, please just let us know who you are, and just let us know that you're in the house, because we'll be starting our discussion in 2 minutes. So who's with us? I know Steven is with us. I know Wiwo is with us. I know Bright is with us. Someone else just came in just now. Who else is with us? Just signify. Let us know who you are. Okay. Yeah, Bright, you're saying business is slow, but growth been scaling up. Yeah, sometimes business is slow. Business is slow. Generally, in this period, business is slow. I would tell you, for me, business has been quite slow, but that's the life of someone that does business. There are ups and there are downs. So we just really hope there are more ups than downs when you're doing business. So it's okay. It's okay for business to be slow sometimes. The most important thing is that you are able to keep your head above water even when it's slow. You are still able to have enough resources to keep yourself alive. Let me know if the sound is good, if my audio is good before I actually get started. So if my audio is good, then we will get started in about 1 minute time. Hey Sandy, how you doing? Sandy from Ghana. All right, so Sandy is here, and that's a good way to start. So we have people from Nigeria and people from Ghana here. So Sandy, it's good to have you. Thanks for joining us. And it's 4 o'clock on the dot. So we would start right now. So welcome to our, I think it's our first official meeting. Although we've had a Zoom meeting before in the past. and we're just testing it out. But I think this is the first official one we have had in a while, with the entire family being invited. I think the first one we had was sometime last year, if I'm not wrong. But this is the first one we're having this year, and it's very important that we have this meeting. So I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank Stephen, I want to thank Vivo, I want to thank Bright, I want to thank Sandy. And if you just happen to come and just write your name and just say you're here, and I'll welcome you because someone else just came in. So I'm glad to have everybody here. It's good that you've taken your time out to be here. It's a Saturday and a lot of people have other things they could be doing. But the fact that is really important, and it means a lot to me that you've taken out this time to be here with us for this meeting. Now I'm going to try my best to keep this meeting to a maximum of an hour. So I'm going to touch on certain things, but I'm going to go over them pretty fast. And I hope we are able to get something out of this meeting. If at any time during this meeting, my audio, I have a problem with my audio, I have a problem with the visuals, the internet seems to be, just let me know. You understand? Let me know, and I would know whether to go over what I've said again or to do the necessary, whatever is necessary to do at that point. All right, so we'll go right into it. Now, what's the essence of this meeting? Number one, it's actually to welcome everybody again to the Premium Mentoring Club. I want to take the time to welcome everybody. Some people have been part of this club for about 2 years now, some a year, some about 6 months, some about 2-3 months, some a couple of weeks, and some a couple of days. But I want to welcome everybody officially to the Premium Mentoring Club. And why am I welcoming everybody today? Because everybody in the Premium Mentoring Club right now, you are a very special set. Because as of today, the enrollment for the club, the cost of enrollment for the club is increasing. So, and you are the set of people that would have paid the lowest amount of money to enroll in the club. So it means a lot to me because it tells me that you guys are the early birds. You guys are good investors, and you guys came in when it was early. You see, a lot of people kind of wait and watch and try to see if the price would go down or if it will last. But you guys went right into it in the first phase. So right now, a door is closing. And so there's an inner chamber. You guys have come into that inner chamber of the people that join Premium Mentoring first. So in the long run, what it means is that you guys are going to have the highest return on your investment because you are going to be the lowest paying people in the club. Nobody is going to pay lower than you to join the club anymore, and you are still going to get as much value as the people that will join in future. So you are what I consider the luckiest set of people, because you joined early, you joined while the price was low, and you are still going to get the highest of value. Again, you are going to be the people that would act as some form of mentors to other people that would come into the club after this. And it's very important that I go through what I'm going to talk about in this meeting with you guys because it's important that we all have one mind going forward. So I just want to use this opportunity to congratulate those of you that have joined the club at this time. And I'm very glad to be part of a family like this that has designers like you in the same family. So as I said today, we're going to be talking a lot about scaling up, and I know this is something I've touched on a lot in the past, and over the past month we've been talking about scaling up, and that's because it's very important to me that we scale up as a business. So during the course of this meeting, I'm going to be sharing some of my experiences, and some of them will be some of my defeats, and I'll be sharing some of my victories with you. And I guess the essence of mentoring is not for me to always be that guy on the pedestal that people look up to. I want to be that guy that people learn from. And to have a successful life, people are going to learn from you in two ways. There are two ways people are going to learn from you in your life. Your life would either be a testimony or a warning. Part time, your life is either a testimony or a warning. Everybody's life is a testimony or a warning. The mistake a lot of people make is that they try to live lives that are always testimonies, and that's almost impossible. I'll say almost, if not impossible, outrightly impossible. Your life cannot always be a testimony. Your life sometimes will be a warning. And what's the difference? When your life is a testimony, that means you experience some kind of victory that people would say, hey, look at Bright. Check out Bright. Look at what happened to Bright. And people will say, man, if this thing can happen to Bright, man, I believe it can happen to me too. So I want it to happen to me. That's when your life becomes a testimonial. You understand? That means you do something and people celebrate it. People are happy and people are like, I want to be like Tola. I want to be like Sandy. This thing that happened, that Sandy just shared with me, I want it to happen to me too. But the truth is that there are going to be other parts of your life when your life would be a warning. And that's when you face defeat. And everybody's going to face defeat. Do you understand? You must just prepare yourself in your mind that there are going to be down times. There are going to be times when your life will be a warning. When people will say, man, this thing that happened to Sandy should not happen to me. This thing that happened to Wiwo, I've learned from Wiwo's experience, so I won't make the same mistake. And very early in my life, I realized that your life is either a testimony or a warning. Because a lot of times, when I was growing up, when I was in primary school, my life was a warning to a lot of people, my mates, my cousins and stuff. Their parents used to tell them, do you want to come second to the last in class? Don't be playing with Tola, because Tola is very playful. You understand? So then I learned that, okay, I'm actually helping these guys by coming second to last so that their parents have something to say. You understand what I'm saying? So your life is actually a warning sometimes and a testimony. Embrace both, because both can help people. But just hope and pray that your life is more of a testimonial than a warning. So in this meeting, I'm going to be sharing with you times when my life has been a warning, and I want it to be a warning to you guys. And I'll share with you when my life has been a testimonial, and I want you to learn from testimonial and believe that if it can happen for me, it can happen for you too. So I'm going to tell you about scaling up your price. Scaling up your price. Because pricing is very important. I realized that of everybody I mentor, I have not mentored anybody that is confident about price, as in outrightly confident about how much they are charging. There's always that question of, how can I charge more? How can I get more clients? How can I become a bigger, more relevant, more impactful designer? There's always that issue of pricing. And I'll tell you some of the things that hinder you from scaling up your price, from moving up with your rate card. Because I really want everybody that is part of this mentoring program to, number one, to have a rate card. Number two, to constantly revise their rate card by bringing up their price. You understand? You can only earn more money if you charge more. You understand? There's never a client, or very few clients, that will come to you and say, you know what, I've been working with you for the past 10 years. I want to increase what I'm paying you by times 10. Clients don't take that initiative. If you continue charging what you're charging, they will continue taking it and paying you what they're paying you. You understand? Clients can be very selfish and self-centered. Even if your value is increasing and you are not increasing your price, they will continue to take that value for that low price. You understand? Very few people would say, why are you not increasing your price? So the onus is on you to scale up your price. The onus is on you as a premium designer to scale up your price. And what are the things that stop people from scaling up their price? And I'll go through 7 things. I've highlighted 7 things here, and I want you to pay close attention to these 7 things I'm going to go over. These 7 things are the 7 things that stop you from scaling up your price. Number 1 thing I have here is a refusal to invest in your skills. To invest in your skills, to invest in yourself. To invest. A refusal to invest is one of the biggest things that I see that hinders people from increasing their price or charging a premium confidently. It is something very common amongst designers and creatives, especially in Nigeria. It's something very common. I tell people it's my biggest frustration with designers. It's my biggest frustration. That mentality that everything should be free. It's a bad mentality. It's a terrible mentality. It stunts you, and it stops you from scaling up. That free, everything should be free mentality, and I don't have to pay money to get value, and it's very rampant. It's very rampant. I was telling someone on a group I was the other day that there was a WhatsApp group that I I spoke to them last year, and they asked me to stay and continue to talk to them once in a while, and I stayed. I stayed on the WhatsApp group. I'm still there right now. But there was a day someone just came and just brought Chris Doe's book. Chris Doe wrote a book last year, was it early this year? And someone just brought the book and just said, I just got a free copy of this book, and he shared it on the group. And I thought, this is really sad. I said, you guys consume Chris Doe's content, free content on the future. I don't think there's any design platform that has given more free content than the future. I hardly doubt it. I don't know of any. But even with that, when he came out with a book, designers still think of how to bootleg that book and get free copy and propagate it. And I thought that's really sad, and it reflects the mentality of a lot of designers to say, look, if you can get it for free, we are going to take it for free. And that's why a lot of designers do not really make headway financially, because they don't invest in their skill. And I'm not going to emphasize too much on this point in this meeting, because for you guys to be in this meeting, it shows that you've invested. You've paid for premium mentoring to enroll in this. So it kind of tells me that you have one up on designers out there. And that's why when I look at designers that are part of the premium mentoring club, I say I'm confident that you guys are going to be successful. It's funny that some of you are not confident about it, but that very step of making payments to be part of this club, to get value, is a massive gap between you and 1,000 other designers out there. Because that step of paying for value is not very common in the design industry. So when people do it, that's the first signal I have that this person is going to be successful, because he has taken the initiative to invest in their skill and invest in their career. Very few designers invest in their career, and it is hard to confidently charge for something that you got for free. Very, very hard to confidently charge for something that you got for free. Look, I used to have that free mentality too when I started designing. It was very, very hard for me to charge people for my work, because you know what, my Photoshop was free. I was always on free 101 free font, 1001 free fonts. I used to get free stock images of Google. I got free templates. Everything I got was free. So when the client asked me to pay, or asked what they were going to pay, I always felt guilty to tell them to pay what I thought was a premium. So immediately the client told me, no, I can't pay this. What I can pay is this. Because I wasn't invested, I would always concede. But something changed my mentality, and that was when I traveled to Canada to school. And it was the school fees was humongous, to be honest with you. My schooling there, and now it's even higher. But then when I saw the school fees, and I looked at it with my dad asked me, are you sure that this thing would pay you in the future? And I said yes. I wasn't sure. I was like, man, this thing better pay me, because the thing that this man is paying me is almost more than what he makes in a year. You understand? As a top civil servant. But he said, okay, if you're sure, no problem, we'll pay for it. And he paid for that school fees. Immediately he paid for that school fees, my mentality changed. Immediately. I knew that nobody should come near me with 5K for a logo again. I knew nobody should come near me for 5K for a logo when I was paying something close to about 15K in dollars then to learn, to go to school. I did the maths and I said, does it make any sense if anybody is paying me 5K when I paid up to 15K dollars just to be in a classroom to learn this thing? So because I was so invested, it changed my mentality and I said, you know what, I'm going to start studying companies that are charging a premium, because these returns, my dad must get the returns back on his investment, or else I will look foolish if I go back and I'm still telling him I am making 5K. You understand? He must be able to see that I'm comfortable doing this thing. So that was the first experience I had with investing. And that's why you realize that people that go and study abroad, go to good school abroad, when they come back, their mentality is different. They would rather leave Nigeria and go back and work with a company abroad than stay here and be taking 5K from people. And that's why I said, look, number one, the price of premium mentoring must go up. Because the higher it goes, the higher the mentality of the designers goes too with it. They realize that I've invested this much. I cannot entertain people that want me to be taking less than what I've invested, because there must be ROI. There must be returns on your investment in anything you're doing. So the first thing that stops you from scaling up is a lack of investment. And I'm glad that everybody here has taken time to invest in their skill. The second thing that stops people from scaling up or scaling up their price is a lack of a willingness to work with others. When you are not willing to collaborate with others, it stops you from scaling up. One of the fastest ways to scale up and to charge more is to collaborate, is to start working with other people. Now, this is a place where I would use my life as a warning to you guys. I would say one of the biggest mistakes I made in my career is not collaborating with people. It was a very big mistake I made. And I made it for over a very long period of time. And I thought I was being smart. I thought I was being wise. I was working alone. I was taking pride in being a lone wolf. You understand? I thought I was doing well. You understand? I was happy that I was working and I didn't have to work with anybody to deliver on a project. So I thought I was making 100% profit, not knowing I was mortgaging my future for what I was getting in the present. And I see a lot of designers make that mistake. You see, I'm a classic example. A lot of people celebrate me today, think of me as a high-profile designer. But the truth of the matter is, if I look at it in real context there, I should be way higher than where I am today. I actually should be way higher than where I am today. To be honest with you, if I'm going to be very honest, I should be. I should have achieved more. I should have impacted more. I should have been celebrated more if I was less selfish. Do you understand? If I was less selfish. The truth is, I didn't know. And that's why I count you guys as very lucky that you have a mentor that can tell you, stop working on your own. I didn't have anybody to tell me that. So I made a very big mistake by working alone for too long. You see, people were paying me 100,000, 200,000, 250,000, and I was happy. I was thinking, I'm doing well. 250,000, one guy, that's good now. You see, I was always thinking about meeting my own needs. As long as I was meeting my needs, let's take on the job. Not knowing that a time would come, because then I had the mentality that I would design forever. See, I tell people then that I want to design like Paul Rand. I want to be designing logos when I'm 80, 70. I still want to be clicking that mouse and sketching those logos. I was saying that, and I didn't realize that a time will come when my mind would grow bigger than designing. And designing in itself, the art of designing artifact in itself, would be too small for me. It would be a very, very small pond for me. And I came to that time, and a time just came upon me that I just realized I didn't like designing anymore. I felt it was below me to be designing, sitting down, designing a logo, showing it to a client. But the problem was, because I had not collaborated with anybody, there was nobody to pass off the design to. So I had to be doing the work myself every single time. I had no time for family, no time for playing with kids, no time for my wife. I was stressed. And that's because I was not sharing the work and I was not sharing the profit from the work. And the truth is that the quality of my work started to go down because I wasn't doing it with all my heart anymore. And I realized I had made a big mistake. I wasn't collaborating. And in the end, it became hard to charge a client because I wasn't responsible for other people anymore. You understand? I wasn't responsible for other people. And now I realize that people that begin to employ, begin to take on other people, are more confident to charge a premium. Because now, imagine if you are working as a designer. Imagine we were working as a designer and taking up an intern or a junior designer who he pays 50,000 every month. Now, if Wiwo pays his intern 50,000 every month, do you think Wiwo would take on a job that is paying him 18,000? He won't, because he thinks about it. Just to pay my guy alone, my junior designer alone, is 50K. I cannot entertain this 18K. He's resolute about it. But if Wiwo was working alone, he will think, this 18K can buy fuel to my car, can buy fuel to my gen, maybe can buy pizza for my kids. Let me take it now. He will compromise. But if he thinks that at the end of the month, this guy is waiting for me to pay him 50K, there's no use taking this 18K. You understand? He would have a benchmark of saying, I don't take jobs less than 150K. So that at the end of the day, I can pay my intern. I can pay the guy doing NYSC with me. I can pay this guy that I'm mentoring. And I can still make money at the end of the day. That is how you begin to scale up, by collaborating, taking on people. Please, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you love designing, don't get into that mentality that you are good on your own. That's what I did. That's what I did. Till I realized the money was not enough. You understand? And that's when I now started to think, oh man, I need to get people on board. I need to start collaborating. I need to be accountable for more people. And I realized that when I started doing it, it became easy for me to charge a premium. Because then I could shut down clients and just tell them, if you're not paying this, man, we just can't do it. Because I got to pay this guy. So as a matter of fact, what you pay me upfront must cover the people that are working with me. Unlike the days when the client will tell me, you know what, just go and work first, and I'll pay you after it. I don't do that anymore. Unless you're able to pay me what can pay my staff, what can pay the people I'm collaborating with upfront. At least that must what you're paying me upfront, because I like paying people upfront. If they're working with me, I pay you upfront so that you can committed to the work. So if the client's not paying upfront, we're not talking about that project. It's not going to happen. You understand? So I've been able to scale up because I've been able to collaborate more. So collaborating is very, very important. You must be able to work with other people. And that's why it's important you are in this premium mentoring program. You are very lucky. And that's why I tell people in premium mentoring, look, you are not just here to watch videos that we put up or to crack jokes from time to time. Those things are good. But you're here to be observant and watch. What does this guy know? Because people are sharing their work. As they share their work, be strategic. Watch and see, man, this guy is good with presentation. This guy is good with animation. Man, this guy is good with content development. This guy is good with book cover design. This guy is just, you have to be very observant. You see, I'm very observant with premium mentoring. When people put up their work, I am watching them as in with real ego eyes, as I'm watching how can I involve this guy in the project. So I know right now, I know nearly everybody's strength in the club. Everybody's strength. Because as you're doing your work, I'm looking at it and I'm getting to know your strength. There's a guy that just joined the premium mentoring program. His name is Ehosa. I don't know if Ehosa is with us right now. If you're here with us, Ehosa, just let us know that you're here. You see, I just put him in a group where Bright is like taking them on how to create logos. There are three of them in that group. There's a guy called Ehosa and there's Temitope. There's something I realized from Ehosa. Ehosa is incredible at using the golden ratio. As in, what Ehosa is doing with the golden ratio, I can't do it, to be honest with you. And I told him this morning that one day he would have to take us a course in how to use the golden ratio. There is no logo this guy cannot recreate with the golden ratio. I think we've given him like how many, I forgot how many logos have we given him, Bright? We've given him like how many logos to create. And if you see what this guy does with the golden ratio, is ridiculous. So now, if I have a logo to do and I want to perfect it, I'm not looking for any other person but Yehosa. That's the truth. Because he's a genius at doing that. You understand? There are so many people that are geniuses. When I want to do presentation, there's no way. I don't look beyond Kosi. Because Kosi's work is incredible when it comes to presentation. You understand? So when I have presentation work to do, I'm not killing myself. I'll ask Kosi, how much will it take for you to present this? And I put it in my rate to the client. Because nobody does it better to me than Kosi. You understand? I see Vivo does animation. When people come and meet me and ask me for animation, I say I have an animation guy that he does it, you know. So I know the strength of each and everybody in the club, and that's what I want you guys to also be strategic in knowing. You must be in the club to collaborate. You must be able to collaborate. You see, I follow you guys on Instagram. I follow you guys on I see your WhatsApp status and I look at your work. Even people that do not communicate a lot on the premium mentoring group, I still know their strengths because I follow them closely. You understand? And that's why I like when people collaborate. I always talk about Sheyi and Victor Efe. They've collaborated on projects. Incredible. They've gotten work for each other. Sheyi has gotten work for Victor. Victor has helped Sheyi on his presentation on work. You understand what I'm saying? So people are collaborating. IK and Jafar are working on an amazing idea together. Amazing. The idea is incredible. There's no way they are going to launch this product or this business that it won't be successful. You understand? And they have a group. They've created a group with themselves. Steven is working on something right now. He has created a group too, collaborating with people. He has Jafar, he has Kosi, he has Tomiwa on it. You understand? That's what I want premium mentoring to be all about. People coming together to create massive impact so that you can charge a premium. You understand? You can charge a premium when you have people that you're collaborating with. So a non-willingness to collaborate is one of the reasons why we do not scale up as businesses. The third thing is, and this one is very important, and I want you to pay close attention to this one I'm going to talk about. It's sympathizing instead of empathizing. And I want you to pay attention because these things sound very similar. If you are going to be successful as a business, as a creative business, you need to learn the art of empathizing, not sympathizing. And I realized that a lot of designers sympathize instead of empathizing. And what's the difference? Sympathizing is when you focus on the lack, and empathizing is when you focus on the need. Sympathizing, you focus on the lack. Empathizing, you focus on the need. So I will give you an example. You see, when we see a beggar, when we see a beggar, we're approached by a beggar. And the person says, oh God, madam, I don't have money. I have not eaten. I need money. We sympathize. Sometimes we sympathize. We focus on their lack of money and their lack of food. So what do? We give them change, 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira. A big boy, a big girl, 1,000, whatever. I don't know. But you give them something. You understand? That's sympathizing. Empathizing doesn't focus on their lack. It focuses on their need. So people that empathize will think, why are there so many beggars here? What can I create or establish? So you create a work system that employs them to do stuff. So maybe it is to wash cars, and you can kind of get them together and say, okay, I have this car wash. Do you know how to wash cars? I will train you, and you train them to wash cars. You understand? And they start making money on their own. So what they lack, you now begin to provide for them by meeting a need, which is by getting them a job. But when you sympathize, you focus on the lack and you give them something to temporarily solve that lack. But the thing with sympathizing that you notice is that people go back to that square one when you sympathize and you give them something out of sympathy. But when you empathize, people never go back to square one. They move forward. So when you give a beggar 20 naira, 50 naira today, when you go out tomorrow, you see him, the same beggar, the same place, asking the same you for the same money. But when you empathize and you create a job for the beggar, that guy is not coming to ask you for money anymore. And that's what we do with design a lot of time that stops us from making money. We get approached by people and they say, my guy, now I can't afford this logo. I can't afford that. No money now. Just do it for me. No money now. I just lost my job, or I just spent my salary. I just did this. I don't have any money. Just do it for me. And we kind of sympathize. We look at them and say, this my guy doesn't have money. Let me do it for him for free. You see, the thing about sympathizing is when you sympathize, you donate. So you give your logo as a donation. You understand? When you empathize, you create. You understand? So you create a structure that helps people to meet their needs. So when someone comes to you and tells you, like people used to come to me very early in my career, guy, you know I don't have money now. You know I don't have a job. Do a logo for me. And I will do it for them because I used to sympathize with them. And I would donate a logo. But you know what happens when that happens? 2 years, 3 years from now, like the same beggar that you go back and you see him at the same corner asking for money after you've given him money. I go back to these businesses 2 months later, a year later, and you know what? You're not running the business anymore. You understand? Because the problem was not a lack of a logo. The problem when someone comes to you and tells you, I want to create a logo, I want to create a website, but I don't have money. What I tell them is that what you need is not a logo. What you need is a lesson in how to manage money. Then when you know how to manage money, you can start a business. Then when you start a business, you will be able to do a logo. Do you understand? So a lot of times what people need, when someone comes to you and tells you, I want you to design for me, but I don't have money to employ you, that person has a bigger problem than that thing they want you to design for them. They have to solve that problem first so that they can have money, then they can now afford a logo. But a lot of times we feel like if we give them the logo, they will be able to do that business, then they will be able to have money. No, but it never works that way. You realize that people that you do free logos for, 2 years' time, the business is still not doing well. In fact, the business has closed down because what they really need is a lesson in money management. Do you understand? That's what they need. When they learn that, they know how to make money, then they can save towards doing a logo. Then they can come to you and say, how much are you doing a logo? Then they will pay you. So stop sympathizing with people. Start empathizing. And how you empathize with someone that doesn't have money is give them free advice. Give them advice. So when people come to me and tell me, I need a logo, I don't have money, one thing I tell them is, you know what? You don't have money. Don't come to me. You cannot afford me right now. You can't afford me. It's not a matter of being proud. It's just what it is. What I would advise you to do, go on Canva. For now, go on Canva. Do a logo on Canva. Just to start your business. Just start it on Canva. Because you don't have anything. Start it on Canva. Do something. Put something together. Canva will help you. Just have a placeholder that you can put there. You understand? What you need to learn is the art of making money. You understand? Not with a perfect logo. Just do it. Do it yourself. Canva is there to help you. That's why I don't go against Canva anymore. Because Canva is for people that can't afford logos or afford good logo designers. So let them go and they go and do it. And they get that traction of doing business. And they begin to realize, I need to save towards a good business. When the first client comes, they save, and then they come back and say, you know what, I'm ready to rebrand. Then you can work with that person because that person has learned. So you empathize, not by donating a logo, but by giving them advice that will help them to make money, to be able to afford a logo. This thing I'm telling you, I do it with my wife. You understand? My wife does, she has a business and she does her graphics. I'm an excellent graphic designer, to be honest with you. Excellent. But if you ask my wife, she knows Tola will not do it for her. He won't do it. The best he will do for her is look at what she's doing and say, okay, move this here, move this here, move this here. It looks good. Good. You understand? But she knows that Tola would work. You have to pay him to work. You have to pay him. He can empathize with you and give you advice of how you can do something without money, but he's not going to donate what he has worked so hard to do for free to you. Do you understand? So if you look at her page, Instagram page, she's doing lovely stuff, but she's doing it herself. A time will come when she can afford a designer. But since the time has not come, I empathize enough to tell her, use Canva, learn how to use Canva, learn balance, learn colors, learn this. When the time comes, you've learned a very important lesson. You start making money about money management, then you can afford a designer. But don't expect a designer to sympathize with you, because you wouldn't appreciate it. And that's the thing, people that you sympathize with never appreciate your work. Never. They never appreciate it. They never remember that you did stuff for them. Just like a beggar. Eh? When you give a beggar 100 naira today and go back next week, don't expect that beggar to say, oh God, thank you for that 100 naira. No. He's going to come back and ask you. And even if you tell him, I gave you money last week, he doesn't remember you anymore. It doesn't remember you anymore. It doesn't remember you. It's like, you're just one of the people that donated to me. And that donation did not solve my problem. You understand? So when you donate, you're like giving to a beggar. They will never remember you. Sometimes we have that erroneous belief that they will remember that they don't remember. The people that will remember are people that you empathize with, and you are able to help them to get to what they need. You understand? So a beggar will remember someone that gave him a job rather than someone that gave him a handout at the end of the day. The fourth thing is very similar. It's very similar to the third thing that stops you from scaling up, is not having the ability to say no. Not having the ability to say no. That is, you must learn the fact that not everybody is to be your friend. That's a very big mistake I made when I started out. I was a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to be my friend. I wanted to be Mr. Nice Guy. So no was very hard for me to say. The hardest thing to say. Because I wanted everybody to like me. And it came from an insecurity. You understand? I wanted to be everybody's friend. I wanted to be popular. So I didn't know how to say no. And it was causing frustration and stress in my life as a designer, because I didn't know how to say no. And if you want to do well in business, you must learn to say that 2-letter word. It will free you up. It will free your time up to focus on the right thing. No, I cannot do it. No, I will not do it. That word no, funny enough, separates the professionals from the amateur. The professionals are able to say no more often than the amateur. The amateur says yes to everything because they are people pleaser. The professionals are able to say no, and you must learn to say no. Not everybody can be your friend. And I learned this in a very hard way. When I started out, I used to say yes to everybody. Tola, can you do this for me now? Yes, I'll do it. Yes. I used to say yes very easily. No was very, very hard, because I felt like I would hurt this person's feelings if I were to say no to them. So I always wanted to say yes to people. And I put myself in a very difficult... I was doing jobs that I didn't like. I was working with people I didn't want to work with. You understand? I was working hours that I didn't want to be working, and I wasn't making any money because I couldn't say no. But one thing happened. There was a particular year, on Christmas Day, I went out and thieves broke into my house and stole my 2 laptops. One laptop was just a few months old, maybe about 1 month old. They stole my hard drive, stole my iPad, stole basically all my work equipment. And I was devastated. And I was having client work to do, and I realized I was grounded. You see, this is a lesson in collaborating with people. Because if I was collaborating with people, my files would be with other people. You understand? They would be with other people that I was collaborating. But because I was a one-man company, one-man club, one-man superstar, my files were only with me. So the thieves left with everything. They took my hard drive. I don't know what they used my hard drive for, but they took everything. And I was devastated. And you know what? I really knew who my friends were in that period. Because people started reaching out. Tola, please do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. And I told them, my laptop was stolen. No. I can't even buy one right now. Because then, I didn't have money to buy another laptop. You understand? I didn't have money. So I was confused what to do. But I thought, because I've been such a nice guy, I should have a chain of friends out there that will be able to help me. So it's time to call back my investment of doing work that I hated and saying yes to people. So I tried to call it back. Not one person, one like this, one person said, Tola, you are my guy, man. You never say no to me. Here is 500, I'm doing 500 naira. Here is 500 naira towards getting your laptop. Because I put it out there. Nobody did jack. 50 naira like this, nobody donated. Nobody. People were like, can you do a look? My laptop has been stolen. Okay, sorry guy, sorry my guy, I'll go and meet somebody else. They went. Do you understand? And that's when I realized, look, because I'm doing work for this guy, it doesn't mean he's my guy. You understand? He doesn't really care. He just wants to get his work. And once he can't get his work from you, he's going to the next guy. And I regretted all the yeses I've told people. But you know what happened? Some people came through for me. I know these people, I'd worked with them before. And some of the work I'd done for them were paid jobs. I'd done paid jobs for them before. Although I'd done some free work for them because they're working as a charity. But I'd done paid job for the owner of the charity. Paid jobs, and the person paid premium. In fact, she got her sister. I did paid job for the sister too, premium. And then I told them, at that point, I wasn't doing work for the charity as much anymore. And I told them, look, my laptop has been stolen. This person that does premium jobs with me, introduces me to premium people, said, you know what, send me your account number. And that person bought me a new laptop. That person bought me a new laptop. And the person pays premium for work. But the free guys did not donate 1 naira like this. Some of them did not even say sorry self. You understand? So not everybody can be your friend. When you say the no, say it with confidence. If they are not paying your rate, tell them no. Learn to say no. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Practice it. No, I cannot take 5K. No, I cannot take 50,000. I charge 120,000. No, I cannot take 200,000. What I charge is 300,000. Practice it. Practice the art of saying no. You understand? Let it come to you. If they are not speaking your language, then don't speak with them. You understand? So learn to say no to people that don't want to pay you that amount that you feel is a premium for you. The fifth thing, which is very important, is change who you work with. If you want to scale up, sometimes you need to change the people you work with. Because sometimes there are some very toxic clients that break your will and break your self-image and break your self-esteem. You don't work with everybody. This year, something happened this year. My top most paying clients, we parted ways this year. And I have no regrets about it. It's sad, but I have no regrets. Because the way the owner of the company communicated with me, I didn't like. And I told them straight up, I don't like the way you just communicated with me. I don't like the word you're using. I would like you to refrain from referring to me or my company that way. And the person said they couldn't refrain from it, that's how they talk to people. And that was the end of it. They were my highest paying clients. Highest. But I will never, ever mortgage my self-esteem for any client. And you must have that level of integrity and self-respect. There are some clients that will use words for you and have a particular attitude towards you that should tell you, don't work with this person anymore, no matter how much they're paying you. Because your self-esteem is the most important thing. So when a client tells you, look, are you not using your brain? Don't work with that kind of person. My client don't go as far because they can't even say that, are you not using your brain? But when a client tells you, in fact, what the client told me then was, I charged the client for a job and the client said, do you think money grows on trees? And I immediately corrected that client. I said, don't use that phrase for me again. Do you think money grows on trees? Because I've been doing business for over 17 years now, and I know exactly where money comes from. You understand? It's children. You tell, money doesn't grow on trees. You don't tell an adult that. So when a client looks at your bill and tells you, just for a logo, and you people must think money grows on trees. That person is disrespecting you, and you must call that person to order, because that person is saying you don't know how to reason like a rational human being, and you must not let anybody talk to you that way, no matter how much they are paying as a client. So I lost my biggest client this year, and I'm happy about it, because we didn't meet on how we should how we should respect each other. We didn't have the same values when it comes to respect. So sometimes you must change the people you work with. If you work with a client that you always have to call one time, call two times, they won't pick your call when they are owing you your balance payment. They take you through the dehumanizing act of having to chase for your money, then you shouldn't work with such clients. I was talking with Bright the other day, and I was talking about a client that always does this to him. When he goes to go and meet the person will say, won't answer the calls, will say, I'll pay you, you're disturbing me. I used to have clients like that too. That would tell me, I've done the work, delivered, and I'm like, Tola, don't be calling me on Monday mornings now. I'll pay this your money. It's not just this money. Don't be calling me on Monday, you're disturbing me. On work I've done, in fact, they are using the branding, they are using the logo. You are seeing like this on their social media, and the guy is telling you, don't call me on Mondays. It's too early. I have important. In fact, someone told me that I have important things to attend to on Monday. I will attend to you on Tuesday for something I've given to you. First, immediately, I don't work with you anymore. You understand? Some of them have called back, and I'll tell them, no, I'm too busy. Or I'll tell them, no, I'm charging this, and I charge them ridiculously more than I know they can. And then they'll say, Tola, why are you doing this now? That's how much I charge. They don't know that it's because of their attitude. I've fired them in my mind. So you need to check the people you work with. People that stop you from scaling up. People that look at your price and say, why? As simple as someone telling you, you're increasing price during coronavirus. Don't you know that people are bringing down their price? Someone that tells you that has no respect for you. You stand, because nobody has a right, unless you're working as an employee, to tell you what you should charge in any period, pandemic or not, war situation or not. You have the right to charge what you want to charge. If they cannot afford it, they have a right to walk away. But a right to insult you, they do not have. So you must be able to watch and change who you work with. Work with people that respect you, people that value you. And respect and value really comes in, especially people that don't want to pay, don't value you, don't respect you. Do you understand? So you must know that the person must be able to say, oh, you're a business, I understand. Okay, we can't afford you right now. What's the best you can do for us? That person respects you because they're asking for what you can do. So they realize that you have the control. But when someone says, no, I'm not going to pay this, what I'm going to pay is this, nothing more, nothing less. I don't work with such people, because then you are shoving your price down my throat. You have no right to do that. So you must be able to change the people that you work with, people that affect your self-esteem. Do not work with people that affect your self-esteem negatively. Work with people that give you hope and make you feel like your work is of value to them. Now, the sixth thing is, remember the fifth thing we talked about was change who you work with. Number 6, you need to change who you play with. Change who you play with. And this is very important. You must know who your group of friends are. Your friends, very important. The same way you choose your clients, choose your friends. Choose your friends wisely. Wisely. You see, if you're always in the place where you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in danger. It's not bad to be the smartest guy in the room, but you must always have a room where you are the dominant, because of the level of intellectual capacity or financial capacity of some of the people that are in that room with you. You must have a room where you are the smallest guy in the room, where you are the boy. You understand? You must have that, because that forces you to change. It forces you to change. So check who your friends are. Check who your friends are. You must work with friends that challenge you per time. Friends that challenge you to be more. That challenge you to be more. Not those friends that continue come to talk about Arsenal, Chelsea every time. You understand? Every time Arsenal, Chelsea. I saying, what do you want to do with that? Arsenal and Chelsea are making their money. Yes, talk about it sometime, but talk about things that challenge you. Things that you can say, wow, I never knew that. Oh. Do you understand? Things that when they say, you just feel like I cannot contribute to this conversation right now. I need to go back and study. You need to be in that room. And that's what I want the premium club to be. I love the way the premium club is going, because I want it to be a club where before you come and share something, you would have looked at it very well and say, these people that I'm going to share stuff with, when they look at it, they will scrutinize it because they're intellectuals. I like what Jace shared on the group yesterday, the thing about ideal. You understand? Because not too many groups share stuff about ideal. Not too many people know about that company called Ideal. They are too busy looking at people that have 100 and something thousand followers on Instagram, that kind of thing. No, but when you're on a group where they're talking about Ideal and talking about design thinking and sharing videos about, you know that you're in the right place. Because with what they are saying, what they said in that video, that Jafar's video, I watched it twice yesterday, and I learned so much. And I realized what I've learned from this video, I can use it in talking with a client. You want to be in a group where they are sharing books, not just look at the design, look at what I created yesterday, look at the new font I just found. No, they're sharing books about branding. They're sharing books about communication. They're sharing books about mindset. And that's why I said everybody in the premium club must be registered to Script, because Script is an incredible app. I got on Script last year, and what it has done to my life is incredible. The knowledge I have gotten, I've read over 15 books, and I'm not a reader, but I've listened to over 15 books on Script that I have become so articulate at talking about design, talking about business, talking with people. Just Script. Do you understand? It has made me a better design business person. Just last week, I went to my client's office. I just went to they didn't call me. I just went. I just said, I want to meet you to just talk to you about business. And I was reading a book on Script, and it was telling me how to communicate with people. And I used this thing that I learned in this book on Script, and I communicated with these guys. And at the end of the day, these guys were like, man, Tola, how can we work with you this year? How can we work with you? They were eager to work. Do you understand? I didn't have to show them, look at my portfolio. I didn't show them work. All I did was talk with them. And interestingly, most of them wanted to have just a 15-minute conversation with me. The both of them, these men are in their 70s. The men I met with, they're in their 70s, so they're well older than me. They had nothing less than an hour and a half conversation with me. Why? Because intellectually, I had read books on Script that had opened my mind up to the art of communicating with people that they want to have more of you. And that's what I want the premium mentoring group to be about. Not just a place where we are sharing how to get free fonts, how to get free templates. No, but sharing intellectual things so that you can be more intellectual designers. They can call you to TED and you can talk. Sometimes I get so disappointed when I listen to designers talk. So disappointed. The other day I was listening to this guy that does really amazing posters and some kind of photo manipulation. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Very popular on Instagram. And he was on a TV station and he was talking. And I heard him talk. And I was disappointed. I said, my goodness, why is this guy talking like this? He's not constructing his sentences well. He's not talking, not communicating convincingly. He's not giving me goosebumps. Do you understand? When you have the opportunity to talk and the camera is faced at you, it's the time for you to win people's hearts. But that's because that guy is not in a circle of people that challenge him to be a stimulating conversationalist. You understand? In his in his circle, he's the baddest guy. And that's the problem. You understand? That's the biggest problem that people have when you're in a circle and you're the baddest guy. You want to be in a circle where you're the smallest guy. And I'll give you an experience I had when I started out design. I started out design 17 years ago. And this was like 2004, I think. Yeah, about that time. And when I started out designing, I was learning Corel Draw, and I was learning on my own, doing some things. And I was impressed with what I was doing. I was like, this work is really good. Oh, nice work. This thing is really good. I was very impressed with what I was doing. I was, drinking my own Kool-Aid. Till a friend of mine who was into design, and I didn't know he was into design at that time, came around and he saw me design. I said, you're into design? I said, yes. So I'm even planning to go to Canada to study more on this design. And he looked at my work. And he didn't say anything. He said, you know what? Tomorrow, I want you to follow me somewhere. I want you to meet some of my friends. I said, okay. I said, are they also designers? He said, yeah, they're also designers. Come along with me. So the next day, which was a Sunday, I'll never forget, a Sunday evening, he came to pick me and he took me to his friend's house. And he took me to a small apartment, a small room, somewhere in Abuja. And once I walked into that room, there were 5 other guys there, inclusive of my friend. And he said, these are my guys. We run a company called Asilde. I'll never forget. He said the company is called Asilde, and we are a design company. I'll never forget that day. And I know their names very clearly. One is Josh, Harry, Nuru, Greg, Mo, and Corex. 6 guys. 6 guys in that small room. There was only a bed there and one computer, one desktop there. And the Josh guy seemed to be their leader. And he introduced me to him and said, Josh, this is my guy. He's traveling to Canada. He wants to do design and stuff. I said, oh, that's cool. He said, come and sit down and see what we've done. And he showed me on their computer. When he showed me what they had done, I started feeling cold in that room. As in, I had goosebumps. I said, what? As in Nigeria, in Abuja, these guys are doing this thing. If you see the motion graphics that these guys were doing, my mind blew. Then they said they wanted to see my work. I said, oh, no, I've not done anything yet. I'm just experimenting. I'm not doing anything yet. Immediately I felt insecure, but I felt challenged. And then they showed me their resources. They said, okay, you know what, we can help you with some resources. And they came with their hard drive. They said, do you have a hard drive? I said, I don't have one. They said I should come the next day with the hard drive, that they will share some things with me. They gave me something called Photoshop's Top Secret. I've never heard of Photoshop's Top Secret before. I don't know how many of you know it. Photoshop Top Secret. They said, go and watch this video tutorial. They had just downloaded it. They showed me a website called Too Advanced. They said, these are the guys we always watch. When I saw Too Advanced like this, that day I went to bed. I couldn't sleep. Because my mind was blown by what these 6 guys were doing. Their work was incredibly good. And I said, man, I can't even tell these guys, this Asilde, that I want to be part of them. Because I never even start. Let me just be their boy. So I used to hang around with them, just looking at what they're doing. One of them was a programmer. Some were motion graphics, some were 3D artists. So they were doing different things. Some were graphic designers. Some were doing, it was a complete team. And I just used to learn from them. I just used to listen to their conversation. And they would tell me about something called Video Copilot. And I say, okay, I'll write it down. Video Copilot, I've never heard of it before. You understand? Tell me about something called CG Society, a website. CG Society, write it down. Those guys were challenging me. I became a learner. Me that I thought I was a bad guy before. I became a learner and I was learning from these guys. They were friends that were challenging. I couldn't talk in their midst because their knowledge of the industry was way more than mine. But they challenged me. And there was something amongst them. When they showed their work, the way they would critique each other's work, that me, I'd look at, this work you're critiquing, this work is good now. But the way they would critique it, because the level they were going for was on another level. So when I went to Canada to study, every single day in Canada, as I was learning, I was thinking, is this thing good enough for Asilde? Is it good enough for Asilde? My classmates in Canada were thinking, man, your work is good, though. But my mind was like, it's not good enough yet. Because when I go back to Nigeria, I must show something to these Asilde guys. Oh. Because if I go back and it's not good enough. Because I was thinking, Asilde, those guys are working. I must work to be able to join them. You understand? I must work hard so I can join them when I get back. You understand? So they were the benchmark. So I was pushing myself to get better. When I got back to Nigeria, unfortunately, the company had split. They had gone their different ways. And I felt very sad because I thought those guys were the future of digital media in Nigeria. But something happened. And this is where we should try to learn a lesson. You see, they had so much skill, so much talent. But the problem was they didn't have confidence. Now, like, confidence is very important. It's a very, very important ingredient if you are going to be a successful company, a successful designer. Confidence. They didn't have confidence. You understand? And how I knew they didn't have confidence was by the time I came back, I went to Canada for about 2 years. By the time I came back, they were not existing anymore. They had gone. They've gotten jobs in different places. because they were scared. That's just the bottom line of it. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them were scared that they would end up not being successful. And that's what happens when you come from a background that is middle class or low class earning background, where your parents are not making a lot of money, your parents are just making just enough money. You grow up with a fear that you grow up and you're in that kind of household too, and that holds you back. It makes you question yourself, and it makes you very fearful that you end up being like your dad or your mom, and you struggle. You struggle to send your children to school, you struggle to eat. So you now compromise on your dreams. You get a regular job instead of pushing that business that would end up being successful. And that's what happened to Asilde. You see, they couldn't wait it out anymore, because I'm sure a lot of people in a lot of the families there told them, guy, you better get a job. Get a job like a regular person. Do you want to stay in this house? You need to take care of your mother, take care of your brother, take care of your this. So they forfeited the dream of that company and started working in different places. And that was the end of it. You understand? But I'll never forget what I learned from them. What I learned from them was that your circle of friends is very important. And that's what I want premium mentoring to be. A circle of people that push you to be better. And now when I see people do good work, I'm telling them, don't share it with me alone, share it with the group. Share it with the club. Let them see. Let somebody find it hard to sleep tonight because they've seen your work. Because being hard to sleep tonight will make them wake up tomorrow morning feeling like I need to go back to work. Do you understand? Still, when I saw Ehosa's grid work, it challenged me, to be honest with you, that Kai, this guy is doing this thing. Man, I need to be better. Even though I don't do logos anymore, I'm like, I cannot now not do logos without understanding this golden ratio, because this guy understands it and I want him to teach it to us. You understand? When I see someone like Jay's work, or I see Akanimo's work, and they are doing work on another level, I'm like, this is what I want it to be. You understand? So that you get better just by the company you keep. Now, I was very happy when Jay shared that video yesterday. Very important. I like videos like that challenge us. The first time when I saw when I knew what IDEO makes, I was challenged. And that was because I have a friend. You see, my business right now is a partnership. I'm partnering with a friend of mine called Yinka. Some of you might know Yinka. And the reason why I'm partnering with Yinka is Yinka, a lot of time when I talk to people, sometimes I'm the smartest guy in the room. But when I talk to Yinka, I don't feel like the smartest guy in the room. Sometimes I talk to him and I'm like, I can't compete with this guy on the level he's thinking on. But sometimes he challenges me. He's the one that introduced me to IDEO. I never knew of IDEO before. He had been telling me, IDEO, check it out. He's the one that introduced me to the future. I never knew of the future. He's the one that told me, watch this guy, it's the future. There's a guy, Chris Do. When I watched it, my mind was blown. He told me about the company called IDEO. He said, IDEO, check out these guys, though. Look at how much they make. He was the one that told me IDEO makes about 10 million, a minimum of 10 million every year. And I was still looking at people that make 1 million in Nigeria. I was still looking at agencies in Lagos. When Nika told me, don't focus on this agency in Lagos, focus on IDEO. Now I said, even beyond IDEO, look at Frog. Frog makes 200 million a year from design. So, when you keep friends that challenge you to be more, then you realize that you will do more with your life. That's why I immediately, when Yinka told me he wanted to be a partner, I didn't struggle. I said, come and be a partner, because he was challenging me. He was the one that told me, stop thinking in Naira. When we thought about how much we want to be making a month as a company, and that will bring me to my seventh and last point. He was the one that told me, Tola, don't think in Naira. Let's stop thinking in Naira, because Naira is rubbish nowadays. Let's think in dollars. Let's think in Naira equivalent of dollars. You understand? Think in dollars. And that's why when we said how much we want to be making in our company, we thought of it in dollars. You understand? Friends should challenge you, not friends that celebrate you too much, but friends that challenge you to be more. So watch your circle of friends. Very important if you want to scale up. Which brings me to my seventh and final point here, is have a clear expectation, especially clear financial expectations. Clear. What I've learned from mentoring people is how many people don't have a clear expectations or clear dreams. So a lot of people, you ask them, they tell you they want to be a successful company. How successful? What makes you successful? You want to make a lot of money. How much is a lot of money? You want to inspire a lot of people. How many people do you want to inspire? You understand? So when I started up premium mentoring, I said I want to mentor a lot of designers. And then I thought that's not specific enough. And I said, okay, I want to go for 200 designers that I will directly mentor. 200. That's my golden number. And I want those 200 to mentor another 200. And that 200 to mentor another 200. And that is how premium mentoring will become the most influential mentoring club in the world. You understand? So you guys are part of my 200 army right now. You understand? So 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. And to grow exponentially. So I have a clear figure. I have a clear figure of how much I want to be making at the end of the month. Don't just say you want to make a lot of money, because a lot of money is not an amount. A lot of money, 1,000 naira is a lot of money to somebody. 100,000 is a lot of money to somebody. But it's changed to some other people. You understand? So you need to be clear, because you need to know something, that things always happen twice. Everything is created twice. First in your mind, then in reality. First in your mind, then in reality. Look, everything I'm doing now, I'm not surprised, because it happened first in my mind. Before I started getting influential as a designer, I used to pray this prayer: God, make me the most influential designer in Nigeria. Help me to do this thing like nobody has ever done it before. That prayer was consistent, because then I used to see myself, number one, talking to a crowd of people, being invited to speak, meeting with clients and charging a premium. I saw it in my mind. Even when clients were arguing with me about how much I'm charging, I still saw it in my mind. I created it in my mind. So even if you want to start making money, you must create that financial experience in your mind, that thing you want to be making. Create it. So today, I want each of you to write down how much you want to be making per month. Specific figure. Write it down. Write it down and look at it every day. You know what that does? It makes you know who you should work with and who you shouldn't work with. If what you want to be making every month is 250,000 naira, then you know that when someone comes to you with 10,000 naira job, you say no. Because how many 10,000 naira jobs do you want to do to reach your target? You understand? So if you have a clear figure, you know that, okay, for someone to make me work right now, they should not be saying anything less than 150. So if someone's paying me 150, I just need a 100,000 naira job more to hit my mark. But if they're coming with 15,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, that means you need to work too hard to hit your mark. And that means that you need to stop working with those people. You need to move to a different circle of people that can pay you what you need. So you need to be clear in your expectations. Your expectations must be crystal clear. The clearer they are, the better for you as a designer. So you must be very clear. And I want each of you today, if you can do it right now, you have a pen and paper, write down what your expectations are, and you realize how much of a difference it would make. So I'll go through the points again. 7 points. First of all, invest in yourself if you want to scale up. Invest, invest, invest. Some people look at that script app and say, oh man, it's a monthly subscription. No. But you're subscribing for Netflix. You understand? You subscribe for Netflix, you subscribe to DSTV. What do those ones do for you? Script would help you. Will help you. Will help you to become a better designer, a better communicator, to have a better mind. That's what I told my wife immediately when I saw it. I said, no. I'm going to subscribe to this thing every month. I don't care. Because I'm subscribing to Netflix. Why can't I subscribe to Script? Do you understand? So invest in your skill at all times. Work with others. Collaborate as much as possible. Always collaborate. Collaborate with people. Employ. Hire. Get interns. You understand? Work with people on the premium mentoring group. There is no better group to find one to collaborate with the premium mentoring group. I can tell you this officially. I can tell you this with all the confidence in the world. There are no thieves on the premium mentoring club. No thieves. No 419ers. No lazy people on this club. None. Nobody. Because I've interacted with each and every one of you one-on-one. Nobody. A thief doesn't pay 50K to come and be part of a mentoring club. They are looking for free. There are no rude people on Premium Mentoring Club. I can say it with or someone that will disgrace you, that you refer a client to. Then the client will come and say this person was a rude person. It's not on Premium Mentoring Club. We have honorable ladies, gentlemen, people that are respectful. Nobody in the club can embarrass you, can disgrace you. I can take anybody in this club anywhere in the world, and I will sleep well at night that this person will not disgrace me, because it's an honorable club. It's an honorable club. I don't take just anybody. There was a guy that wanted to join last year. I turned him down. He's a good designer, excellent designer, but I turned him down. Because when I looked at his way of talking, he was kind of prideful. He used to talk down. He was brash. You see, a lot of designers, I follow them. When you tell me, when you contact me on WhatsApp, I follow you. I look at your WhatsApp status. I look at how you talk, how you refer to other people, the kind of photos you put up. I tell them, I know this person cannot join. You understand? So I know you guys. I know you guys from how you talk to how you comport yourself. I told that guy, you can't join. There's no space. I've closed it. I told him. I know him very well. He's still my friend right now. But he can't join the premium club because I can't vouch for his character. I can't vouch that he will come to the club and he will talk down at another designer, or they will involve him in a project and he won't deliver. Nobody on the club is like that. I can vouch for this club anywhere, any day. You understand? So collaborate with people, especially with people on the club. There are a lot of incredible people there that are good at what they do. Number 3 is, what's number 3 again? Empathize, don't sympathize. Empathize, don't sympathize. Empathize, don't sympathize. You understand? Don't let anybody come to you and say, oh, I don't have money. If they don't have money, let them go and save to come and work with you. You see, Ideo that gets 10 million, at least 10 million every month, they are known to be a very empathetic company. They are empathetic because they think of a need and they try to solve that problem, but they use money to solve that problem. Clients pay for that problem to be solved. So they're empathetic, but they still have clients pay for them to solve their needs. But they're empathetic in how in-depth they are in going to solve a client's problem, not by donating their work. No, they're empathetic in how much they give their time to a project they are being paid for, to give value. That's empathy. Empathy is not cheap, definitely not free. Learn to say no. Not everyone should be your friend. Remember that. Not everyone should be your friend. Change who you work with. Not every client should be your client. If they don't respect you, don't work with them. Your esteem is more important to you than any other thing. Change who you play with. Change your circle of friends. Let your friends challenge you at all times. Don't be in a room where you're not the smartest guy or the smartest girl. And number 7, have clear expectations of where you're going, how much you want to make at the end of the day. So that brings us to the end of this session that we're having. I'm glad we have 21 people. I don't know if you have any. I've not seen any more comments since then, but if you have any more comments, you can just you can put it up. We'll soon be closing in on this, maybe in the next 2 minutes, so that it's easy for other people to watch when they need to watch without taking too much of their data. So I'm really happy that you guys could join. I'm very honored to be in the same group, in the same family, in the same club with you guys. And I want you to know we are going somewhere. We are going somewhere, but they don't see us coming. They don't see us coming. But when we start to come, they'll be like, oh man, where did these guys come from? I tell people that when I watch Game of Thrones, my favorite character, a lot of people say my favorite character is Jon Snow. My favorite character is the Imp. My favorite character is this, is that, is Daenerys. My favorite character is that, what do they call him? The king of the White Walkers. That's my favorite character, to be honest with you. Because every other person in Game of Thrones spent their time fighting with each other, fighting to get to the throne. He's the only one that focused on building an army. He spent season 1 to season 8 building an army, and that's why he was so hard to defeat. In fact, it was by luck that they defeated him, because he was focused on building an army one by one, and that's what I want Premium Mentoring to be. We are building that army one by one. Now we're about 40 something people. We're going to 200, and we will get there, and we will make that impact that we are meant to make. So I want to thank you all for taking time to be part of this. Please, as much as possible, you can come back to watch this thing if you didn't start from the beginning with us. And I will also leave the link open for those that can't make it. But thank you very much for being a part of this, and let's go into the rest of the year, the rest of this month, scaling up and being all that we can be. So thank you very much for being a part of this. I'll be closing this group right now, closing this live right now, and we can continue to chat on the group. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend.